Welcome to another weekly power session. Today we have an amazing rags to riches story. Sarah Cross was 24 years old when she successfully built and sold her own $1 million gift hamper business and was formally recognised twice in the Australian Telstra Business Women's Awards. With the rapid expansion of her gift business, she built systems around sales, marketing and outsourcing to ensure that her business was successful. Following her huge success and career, she was able to start up a business where she can actually empower women, empower mums to be able to build their own businesses successfully. And now she focuses on coaching mums within the gift hamper business. Is that right?
Yes, gift and homewares.
Gift and homewares, fantastic. Now, Sarah's taken some time out of her day, her very busy schedule, to be with us and to talk to us about pricing for profit. Now, this is really important because even in my coaching career, and I'm sure in Sarah's everyday business coaching career, we come across business owners that really don't know how to price themselves correctly.
That's correct.
Great. So, Sarah, take it away.
So yes, Claire, absolutely. One question I do get asked all the time is, how should I put together my pricing? What's a good formula to work by? It is a tricky one. I think, if you price too high, then no one's going to buy it. You're not going to be sort of in the right ballpark for people to find it an attractive item to purchase. And then if you price too low, you'll never make a profit. And most of the time I do find that it is that people are pricing themselves and their products too low.
That's interesting. Hey, that's interesting because I think people think, oh, is it too high? And
yes.
Yeah.
They do. And I think it comes down to, I've sort of got 5 tips that I wanted to share with your members. I think that, the advice that I always give people is, do you want to work for free or do you want to make a business that is going to be something that you can build upon and that you're going to actually be able to pay yourself for your time and, for the energies that you've put in and cover your cost of your materials. And everyone says, yes, absolutely. But when they work out and take away a lot of their time that has been put into their product, and especially if they're hand making their goods, they work out pretty soon that they're lucky to be making, like $1. Or sometimes they're in the negative,
yeah.
which is actually not a nice realization.
No.
So I think that, in terms of my first tip one, and I think it's fantastic timing because I did actually see in one of your recent emails, it was talking about confidence. Mm-hmm. And I actually think that those two mirror each other when people are underpricing their products and their business to a degree because they're fearful of perhaps no one wanting to buy their product. But I think, my first tip is really have the confidence and to just know what your product is worth and why it's worth that. It's, it's really important to have faith in what you're selling. Mm-hmm. And I think even if you're not the best salesperson in the world and if you're passionate about your product and passionate about your business, I think that comes across naturally in your sales and in your marketing. And I think customers will believe in the product more and pay a reasonable price for it and really value what it is that what your product is worth.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I also think that with this day and age, now that we have blogs with businesses and online gifting businesses, is that people can actually get to know your story and get to know what you're doing behind the scenes. It might take you 8 hours to make that product, and if someone says, oh, that's too expensive, it's like, well, send them the 8-hour video, send them the blog post on how long it took. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to actually do that, but it's just the way of thinking, and like you say, it's that belief.
And an example of that, I'm sort of thinking of to be able to provide sort of people with examples of when you think of I've worked with an artist mm-hmm. who wanted to take her wall art and transfer them into textiles and homewares. So we did a range of cushions mm-hmm. That reflected, her artwork reflected onto cushions in addition to wall tiles and plates. And putting a value on something that has taken so much time that actually is a limited piece, a limited item that people are going to come to a gallery and purchase compared to perhaps someone has done a design, for instance, and it might be a downloadable that you can print off in your office. I mean, putting a price on those sort of things, a lot of it still comes down to confidence. And particularly if you are an artist and you are expressing your creativity, it can be quite daunting, to sort of put it out there. And I know she had quite a lot of anxiety around this exhibition as, will people pay for that exclusivity?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely, I'm a big advocate of really continuously building your confidence while you're building your business. It's not something that's just going to be there one day and it's going to stay with you forever. But it's just continuously working on that. So that's a great tip.
Yes. So I think having the confidence, absolutely, and having the confidence to believe in you, in yourself and in your product. And I think that's reflected across your business. So my second tip is about adding it up. So it really comes down to sort of a bit of a mathematical way of setting your pricing. And just to consider the price that you pay for the product. And then there's obviously your total overheads, your sales and marketing expenses, taking all those factors into account and then adding on a profit percentage. So with corporate gifting, which is my background, the margins are actually quite high. We normally work around about the 120 to 135%, which is, quite a generous amount. But corporate companies are willing to pay for that because they're getting an entire complete package and complete service when we're doing all their corporate gifting. Wholesalers tend to average around about sort of 30 to 40%. Some of them take it off the actual retail price of when they're actually wholesaling to stockists and selling in larger volumes. And retailers tend to work on around about 80 to 100% in terms of what they mark up their wholesale products when they get them in store and mark them up. But I do find what happens is a lot of people offer free shipping and a lot of people start on the lower end of the scale. And what happens is when they start on the lower end of the scale and they might have to absorb some of those costs and then they add in free shipping and you take off another $10 or $12, all of a sudden, as I was saying to you at the beginning, you know what you're worth and be confident about it because all of a sudden you are pretty much working for free.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
And I think that when I say that to people, it does really resonate for the people that sort of have put their heart and soul into something that they've created. And it is hard when you're hand making, particularly if you're someone that's hand making items, it takes a lot of your time. One item could take you, up to sort of 8 hours to put together. I know someone who makes these beautiful fabric-covered journals and she assembles them all from scratch and covers them all and they're really intricate. And, again, it's about being confident in charging. You can't charge something that's mass-produced. You can't compete with people, when they're being sold in big retail chain stores.
Yeah.
Because it's handmade.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And a lot of love and a lot of time has gone into it.
Yeah. And I think also on that note, like from my community, being a mom entrepreneur, time is, I was saying yesterday on a coaching call, I was saying, you can't put a dollar figure on time. Like I would rather have more time than more dollars because it's just so invaluable, whether it's time with my children or time in my business or time to do something. It's something that you can't buy. So it's, I think, for mums, just really knowing that, they've set up these businesses to have, financial stability or to have, a work-life balance that they can actually, spend time with their children. And you think about how much time they're spending away from their children making these items for free.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's what resonates. And I think, I also have a conversation many times with the partner that's also seeing that their wife, their partner is also spending a lot of time, a lot of energy either on, up at night working on the business, either creating or doing social media. And they start to question, are you making any money from this? Or is this actually worth all this time and stress? And I think, there's also that pressure in addition to trying to, have the time for your children and for your family and to have downtime as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, brilliant.
Yeah. So my third tip is all about Once you've got the confidence and once you've, mathematically done a formula, I actually do with my coaching clients, I do have a master pricing template formula, and it's just simply then a matter of dropping in the wholesale product prices, and it calculates and covers even down to labour and administration. There's a certain amount of money that you should factor into, and that's coming back to time. Because there's going to be situations where you need to outsource and perhaps get someone in to help you pack your orders. So you need to factor in that there are going to be some fixed costs. Mm-hmm. And I think once you've got your confidence in the right position and you've formulated the right pricing, then a great way to start to boost your average sale is to sort of introduce upsells. Mm-hmm. And with the upsells, that's sort of really as opposed to before you start to discount. Because I think a lot of people think, I'm not selling, the price is too high, so, hey, I'm going to discount.
Yeah.
And what it does is, I think, in a reflection of your business and yourself, it sort of devalues your product. Mm. When you start to always have something on sale or always discounting it down, rather, I like to sort of teach my clients how to upsell to increase the average sale. So value adding, in terms of it, a lot of the times it doesn't cost anything for the retailer. Mm-hmm. It can be more of a benefit to the customer, like it can be free gift wrapping. It could be a bonus item when you purchase an item. And that bonus item could be something that's a small token and complimentary, but it could be items that you've had sitting around for a long time and you actually need to move to make way for new items to come in, new product and new stock. Yeah. So, sometimes to move old stock, you can say when you spend to a certain amount, I know that happened. And I'm always a sucker for a gift with purchase. I like to, sort of spend to the limit where I'm going to get my
the free thing.
And I remember going into Crabtree and Evelyn, and they came up and approached me and said, "Look, today we've got a special. If you spend in store, I think it was, $80 or $100. It was, around Christmas time period. You qualify for to choose a body lotion, 250ml pump body lotion, or a body wash that's normally retails at $40, but you can buy it for $15."
Yeah.
And of course I can re-gift that if I'm buying it at $15 or use it for myself. Yeah. But I of course then made sure I spent to the $80 so I could qualify for that option, and they were still covering their cost. Mm. It could have been items that they still needed to move out the door. Yeah. And it was also an incentive to raise the average sale. Yeah. So I might have normally only spent $50. But suddenly I was, $80 or $100 to buy it. So, they're the sort of things that I think are quite clever incentives. Approaching key times of the year, such as Christmas, there can be like an early bird, rewarding people if they place orders and get organised earlier. You can offer them some sort of gift with purchase. And as you know, like all the big, makeup companies and product companies offer a gift with, when you spend to a certain amount, you'll get, to try out their lovely new lipstick and sample perfumes and all sorts of things like that, which I can see you smiling. So it sounds like you like it.
I can see you going out the door and going to them and going, oh, goodness, what am I going to get now with this purchase?
Yeah. But the thing is, sometimes when I do find that I get these sort of little samples, it introduces me to more of the product line. So then I'm more likely to come back if I've liked it, and I'll actually purchase the full size, or I'll be a repeat customer for longer.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've been given some sort of nice value add.
Absolutely.
And rather than just offering free shipping or discounts, there are other ways that you can actually increase boost your sales, and also that you can actually offer them either in a promotion. And I do find that a lot of people do forget to do promotions, of their business, because doing a promotion creates more awareness of your products. And I think, again, that's a confidence thing. too, where
Absolutely.
people sort of think, oh, I don't want to come across as being salesy or pushy.
Yeah.
But a promotion can really help you, and it can also be really enticing for someone that's actually looking at ordering, and that can just seal the deal for them.
Absolutely. Oh,
Mm.
that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
brilliant.
So my fourth tip is about partnering up.
Yep.
So I've sort of, in terms of partnering up, what I love is collaborations and partnerships. It is a rapid way of growing your business. If you're able to seek out joint ventures, just with like-minded businesses that share a similar audience, some sort of benefit that you can offer in terms of a dual promotion, or it could be a training session. It could be something of how to use the actual product that they might be promoting. Could be an in-store workshop. It could be a whole number of things. A tasting. It could be, if it's Instagram, I do see a lot of people who do those Insta loops. Where you're building up your following and your awareness. And it's a fairly low cost to get a lot of exposure when you do partner up with someone that has a much larger audience than what you have, but your product is really complementary and will be really great for their audience.
Yeah. I mean, you see some of the bigger companies partner up with bloggers because they obviously have an influence and a reach that they can't get that personal touch. And I think this is going back a while, but my first competition I ran on Facebook was with Sukin Products.
Yes.
And they gave us like a $250 hamper, whatever it was. And we had something like, I think it was a 4-day sign up. So it was 4 days for the competition. I had 450 people sign up in that short amount of time. And it was a win-win because it obviously built my list and it built their list as well. So, it was a dual, and built their awareness as well. So there's a lot to say for collaborations. Absolutely.
Yeah, and what you just said there is exactly what it should be. Is all about a win-win. It has to be beneficial for both parties. There has to be some benefit that you're extending if you're wanting to reach their audience, and likewise for them to, sort of use you as well, and you promote you have to bring a benefit to the table, and that has to be reciprocated. So, joint ventures are a really powerful way of being able to rapidly grow your business and get lots of exposure, and it can be done really strategically. And I think it's a fun way of doing it too, because it's nice when you're in business to partner up with someone, like-minded people.
Yeah. Oh, it's absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So my fifth tip is all about increasing cash flow, which I think everyone loves when we talk about pricing for profit, being able to look beyond the single consumer. And that's something that I really specialize in. It's all about creating a recurring monthly steady income rather than just relying upon, if you have a seasonal based business, in particular a Christmas-based business, then you have to survive those another 11 months of the year. And that's where partnering up and having collaborations and having joint ventures can really help spur your exposure of your product, marketing your product to a bigger, wider network, a bigger target audience. And I think with targeting the bigger businesses who purchase on a monthly basis, for instance, if you are in a corporate gifting environment, then you're going to be able to target companies such as real estate agents and property developers. They sell high-ticket make high-ticket sales on a monthly regular basis, and they're looking for companies that can supply gifts for them when they do settlement handovers. When people come to collect the keys and sign the contract, they want to, as a nice feel good for their loyalty, they want to give a gift on purchase for that. Also, the companies that are doing the monthly subscription boxes. I mean, there's a monthly subscription box for everything now, Claire.
I know.
It's really taken off, from tampons to toilet paper to shavers to baby products, everything. You could pretty much, survive on signing up and having a really nice subscription. I've seen book companies, I've seen art and craft companies doing it. And the beauty of having a monthly subscription is that you've got regular recurring income coming in every month.
Mm-hmm.
And you can scale and build that so that you can have, 100 people spending $30 on a gift box with you every month. And that money is regular. It's coming through. You can bank on it to cover your fixed costs, and you can scale it.
Yep.
And then you can also, be able to expand your business if you need to bring in staff, and you need to expand. A lot of people I know have outgrown their home office space. Their product has taken over the house. It's like a vine. And their kitchen table and everything, and their partners are sort of, being consumed by all their lovely product, and, they want to have a separate space. So by building a recurring income and knowing that you can cover those fixed costs, you then have peace of mind to take that leap of moving your business from a home-based office
mm-hmm.
into a commercial office and commercial space.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that's brilliant. Those are 5 great tips.
Yeah, so would you like me just to recap what
That would be awesome. Yep.
So the first tip was it obviously it's all based upon, when we're pricing for profit, it's all about, knowing whether whether you're undercharging or you're overcharging. I think the first one I spoke about was confidence, and it's actually being able to know what your worth is, that you're not working for free.
Yeah.
And that hits hard for some people because they do, sometimes question what their product is really worth when they sit down and work out the time that they've actually invested in creating the product. You do find then that for the hours that they've put in, that they might have been earning 20 cents an hour.
Yeah.
So making sure it's, feasible. And the tip 2 was about adding it up. So that's really considering a formula,
mm-hmm.
and having a formula, whether it be a spreadsheet, using a pricing template to be able to factor in all your fixed costs, your overheads, and what you're spending on your subscriptions, on your admin, covering all those costs and adding a percentage to get a round figure as to what your markup is. And so there is those percentages I spoke about that you can use as an average. The third tip is all about upsells, which I think everyone loves. That's the best alternative rather than discounting. People sometimes think that they can boost their sales by discounting, but I just see it as a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
It's not exactly a strategy you can bank on, because in theory, I think it devalues your product when you're continually discounting to move stock. There's usually a problem there that hasn't been addressed. So we talked about those nice gift with purchases, those upsells, and being able to, offer another service or offer a benefit, whether it be a complimentary, a small item that goes nicely with, can be gift wrapping or, a gift box. So that's also a really nice one of upsells. The fourth tip was partnering up, so collaborations and partnerships. And you mentioned about the guest blogging and it being a win-win for both parties.
Yep.
I think that's really important. And that was, one key factor in when, we spoke about how I got started in my first business, was that I partnered up with a lot of, much bigger companies than me, and they had the audience that I was targeting.
Yeah.
And those sort of partnerships rapidly expand your business. They can be an amazing, turning points, opportunities for people who want to scale their business and take it really big. It can be the difference of making, $2,000 a month to making $20,000 a month.
Yeah.
And that can happen just with a really, really fantastic partnership.
Yeah.
And then number 5, the 5th tip was all about cash flow. So it's all about sort of thinking rather than just a one-off sale and selling from your website, selling to sort of the public, looking at ways that you can become as a wholesaler, you can acquire more stockist accounts. So you're selling on volume. And that way, when you build up, your stockists and distributors, it also builds up your consistency with your cash flow.
Yeah.
And also, we spoke about the monthly gift box subscriptions, that's sort of a nice regular, anything that has a membership attached to it,
Yeah.
A loyalty program.
Yep.
There are all ways that you can increase your cash flow by providing people with benefits if they're members.
Yep.
To be part of your tribe, and to they'll spend money with you. They'll remain loyal.
Fantastic.
So they're my 5 tips.
That's great. Thank you so much. And I know that we've got so many mum makers in our community, and quite a few gifting businesses as well. So that is going to be extremely useful, especially leading up into a very busy time of the year. So thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today.
Oh, you're welcome. And on saying that, with Christmas fast approaching, Claire, I am happy to extend a nice little goodie out to your motivated mummy entrepreneurs, where I'm happy to offer up a free strategy session, which is valued at $297 for the first 5 people that want to take action right now and grab a spot.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm happy to go through with them and talk about some strategies that they can put in place to really capitalize on their Christmas, on their sales.
Mm-hmm. That's great. That's brilliant. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
That's great. So I will put all those details in the community, and the first 5 can grab that. And I'm sure we will be seeing you on the power session again. I'm positive. I do get emails after I send out certain power sessions. Can we have her back? Can we have her back? So I'm sure you're going to be on there again. And once again, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with our community. We're very grateful.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure being here, and I've really enjoyed it. Thanks so much, Claire.
Fabulous. Bye.
Bye.